I took a year-long break and I was at home because I was ashamed to face the world. I was thinking people are gonna judge me, that she couldn't handle one marriage. Such a failure, she is. The longest relationship that one has is the relationship that you share with yourself. Because since the time you're born till the time you leave this earth, you're with yourself. People are not scared about what the other world is saying, but they're concerned that what their friends think about. But unfortunately, in today's time, if you're saying some nice things about somebody, people think you're buttering that person.
Meet Yashshri, a phoenix who rose from her ashes and became associate director of an MNC in Mumbai. Her journey is truly of grit and resilience.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. Go, 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 yeah, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave.
Hi Yashshri, thank you for joining us today on Seeds of Soul.
Thank you so much, Pallavi, for having me here. If I had to ever share my journey, that was supposed to be with you. As I work with the MNC, luckily for me, the team is really good. They're very approachable. But the steps that I would personally take for mental health resilience for myself and the team would be, uh, uh, to just acknowledge the fact, first of all, that we can't have the same frame of mind every day. So it's very important, what we generally see when we look at a person is just the tip of the iceberg. So whatever
You don't
that
really
is
know what is going on.
you don't really know, you can just judge a person by a 60 seconds reel that you can see on Instagram, and that somehow becomes the reality, But I make sure that whenever I'm meeting my colleagues, and from time to time, I sit with them and I genuinely ask them, how are you? Not just to kind of, say, okay, I'm good, my weekend was good.
Not to discuss targets.
Yes, but just to ask them how they're doing, how they're feeling. And it's a very small question, it may seem like a very little thing, but it goes a long way. When the other person thinks that you're not being judgmental, they feel comfortable around you to be themselves. And that's when they can open up to you about what's actually going on with them. Because they know somehow that you're not going to misuse that information that you're getting from them.
And I think that kind of openness needs to be encouraged, needs to be cherished in a team, right? And that is a nurturing thing that I think that's a gene that we women have, that we bring to the table, that we need to nurture, and that nurturing ability should be only encouraged as going forward as we are growing in our careers. So, you were quite young when you faced divorce. You were all of 25, I believe.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So, I mean, that was such a young age. I mean, to kind of go through that, soul shaking pain. I don't have better words for it. So, how did you handle those setbacks, and what kind of tips would you share with our audience on mental health resilience, and what can they do to cope with the curves that life throws at you?
As you rightly said, I was just 25. And when I was going through stuff in my marriage, I couldn't feel comfortable to share it with anybody. First of all, I was ashamed that this was happening to us, I just totally believe that if I would share it with somebody, they're gonna make a big fuss out of it. They're gonna talk about it. So I didn't have that safe space to talk about it with anybody, and I think I was very young. What I really pressurized myself, thinking I can handle it by myself. I am strong enough. I know how to do it better than anybody else.
It's my battle, and I'm going to just fight it all by myself.
Yes,
right?
but that's not true. Like today, as a 35-year-old, I realize that it was a very wrong thing to think of. Back then.
Correct.
I should have reached out to a friend or to my family members for their support, which I did. I was just trying to address issues at root
All
level,
by myself.
all by myself.
So you're trying to fight all your inner and outer demons
Yeah.
all by yourself,
Yeah.
and that can be a very exhausting and a tiring journey.
It was a very exhausting thing. By the end of it, when we actually filed for divorce, I was so mentally exhausted that I couldn't even lift a pen by myself, because somehow there was so much of stigma back then about divorces, and I was constantly feeling what went wrong. Was it my mistake? You know, you don't acknowledge the fact, you don't really
You don't acknowledge that there were other
factors
that were
involved. It's
constantly-
not because you're a bad person. It's just
Yeah.
that, you know, sometimes things are not meant to be,
Meant
you know, and you can't force that in your life. So that was there. In fact, I remember I took a year-long break and I was at home because I was ashamed to face the world. I was thinking people are gonna judge me that, you know,
Correct.
she couldn't handle one marriage, such a failure, you know, she is. But that's not how people look at you. It's just all in your head at times, you know, that okay, how to go about it.
Yes, sometimes one needs
Yeah.
to just put one foot in front of the other.
Yes, and you're constantly analyzing and trying to question yourself what you could have done better. Was it your mistake? So you're in denial. Then you're constantly like, you know, putting yourself down by saying it was all your mistake, you know. So after I took a break of 1 year, luckily for me, I had a good friend who offered that I could go and stay with her for 3-4 months, and that's when I could really feel like myself. She would take me out on girls' night out. We would dress up, and obviously the little 2-year-old that she had really helped me, you know, feel like myself. But it was a process. It was a step-by-step healing.
Yeah.
When I was applying for my job after a year, when I felt like, you know, I
And
should
for that you had to kind of stop. So you start
Yes.
applying from the rock
Scratch.
bottom, from scratch,
Yeah.
because you were in Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. I had to come back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Change
that-
industries because, you know, I didn't want to go back to hotels.
Correct.
And one thing that had been common or consistent for me, or which worked for me before I got married, was my job. So I knew that I always felt confident in myself when I was working because I could show my side, that aggressive side or that ambitious
Correct.
side to the world, and that always made me happy. But then when I started applying for a job, it was a different nightmare altogether because every interviewer would ask me about my divorce thing, and that's it's gonna
And the
affect
gap that and the
that the gap, obviously a 1 year gap, and they would tell me that, you know, we don't want to hire you because you're in that phase.
They said
of,
that to you on your
yes,
face.
on my face, and I was like, I mean, how can you be so vocal about it, right? There were times I literally cried in the interviews, and that's not my personality. I've always been an independent person. I was into swimming and basketball, so it was not my nature to cry in front of a stranger, you know. But just the fact that you would not ask it to any other guy.
That a stranger would look at you with pity.
Yes, and then like we don't have time to train you or to deal with your mood swings. And trust me, divorce is a very lengthy process in India. So if you're contesting it, then we don't want to hire you. If you're okay to end it now, then we can, you know, consider taking you back.
I mean, this was said verbatim to you.
Yes, verbatim to me.
This is
And-
such a sad reality of corporate India.
Yeah, and I really doubt if they talk about this to a man, you know, when he is going through something. So I think that kind of really threw me off, you know, that how can somebody say that to you on your face? Then I decided that maybe, you know, at first I was not okay with it, but then eventually I decided not to talk about it. Because if I'm not gonna get a job, and people are, even if they give me a job, they're gonna judge me basis my divorce status.
Yeah.
I didn't want that, so I decided I'll go for it. I'll not tell people that I'm divorced. I'll just maintain a story that I'm married and I stay with my in-laws here. And when I went with it for 3 years, when I was working in the first company after the break, I never spoke about my divorce thing to anybody because I wanted my work to speak for myself. I didn't want people to judge me basis what was happening in my personal life. Because when I was working and I was devoting a lot of time to my work, I was not thinking about the other factors. I had totally engrossed myself in work, 14 hours, 12 hours every day, which was not healthy. Now I realize it. But back then, that was the only thing which was an escape for me. Only thing that made me feel like something in my life was stable and balanced, you know. So yeah, and then it was a step-by-step process, as I said. So after 3 years, slowly I stopped wearing Mangal Sutra, Sindoor, I stopped doing Karwa Chauth fast, and that is when I could confide in a few colleagues of mine, because 3 years is a good time to know how a person is, and I could talk about it. And then one fine day, it was just like a band-aid. I just ripped it off, and I came out, you know, with it that okay, this is happening, and it's real, and I don't want to hide it anymore. Because literally for those 3 years, I was living 2 lives, you know. One that was a complete lie, and the other one which I was living, you know. At home I was depressed, but as soon as I would step out.
Correct. So I think when you kind
Yeah.
of decided to acknowledge, embrace your own demons, they started not being demons anymore. Right?
Yes, yes. You know, that's a different kind of independence, you know. I can tell you, you glow differently when you're not hiding things from anybody. You know, you're so
When you own your truth, right?
when you own your truth.
Correct. Correct. I mean, why should the stigma of a divorce lie solely with a woman? This is absurd. I think. I mean, it takes two to tango, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Indeed.
So if the breakdown of a marriage has so many contributing factors, and just putting the blame wholly and solely on a woman is very appalling, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I agree.
So now that you said that you had to kind of be tough on yourself and you had to pick up your threads right from the day one. When did you realize that now my mental health needs attention? I need to now focus on my own inward healing.
Yeah, so as I said, I took a 1 year break. During that time, I was focusing on, myself, self-love. I was reading a lot of Louis Hay. I was listening to a lot of talks by B.K. Shivani, and I realized back then she had said one sentence, she said, and I quote, that, if, like for example in Hindi, she said, अगर आपको कोई कांटा चुभता है तो इट्स ओके कि 10 मिनट के लिए आपको दर्द हो, पर अगर वो निकलने के बाद 2 साल तक आपको दर्द हो रहा है तो वो कांटा नहीं है, it's your own mind that's causing you pain, so you need to address that, and that was very
That's so
profound. Yeah, and that is when I really thought back to myself that okay, the divorce thing is over now. I'm living by myself for 3 years. The person who was causing me pain is not with me anymore. So why am I still feeling it? Because I chose to live with that pain.
Correct.
I chose, to suffer, and that had to change.
That is so beautifully said, right?
Yeah.
That we choose our own suffering, isn't it?
So I think that was the first step when I realized that I should really
Now kind of
put myself first and
close the
address this.
chapters and move on.
Yes.
So, while you said that while you were being hired, there was a stigma attached to your job profile. While you were in the job, did you feel any stigma or any kind of alienation that happened with you?
So while there was no stigma because the divorce thing was not being told to people, but I totally feel that I was at a junior level back then or a mid-management level back then, and there were instances when my boss would have said something which was very derogatory, but when I have taken it up with my bosses, because when I've taken it up with my bosses, they have kind of come back to me and said, these days all the girls have become so feminist that you get bothered with every small thing. You want to make like a big story out of everything. And, past
Your boss said that to you.
yeah, I mean, one of the persons that I was reporting.
And they just
said
mean
that.
it like a joke, as
Yeah.
if, this is just a joke. Learn to take a joke.
So they actually feel that they are right. They feel that we are making it up. But it's not the case. If something is making you feel short, if something is hurting you, it's not a joke. It can't be a joke. If you feel bad, you feel shrunken, it's not a joke. And
Yeah.
people have to address it. If somebody is coming up to you, because I remember in my first job, one of my presidencies said, जब तक एक बच्चा रोता नहीं है, माँ भी उसे दूध नहीं पिलाती. So if something is bothering you, you need to put it out there.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to escalate it. And it's the duty of the other person then to kind of,
Correct.
acknowledge it. And that's what I do in my current role as well. If somebody is going through something, I will not ask them to shove their feelings under their rug. I would be like, okay, let's have a chat about it. What is it that's exactly bothering
And
you?
how can I
How can
contribute?
we,
Contribute to
resolve
make
it?
things better. Yes.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not about just putting yourself first, but kind of taking into consideration the feelings of the
other
entire
people as
team
well.
and
Yes.
taking them along, right?
Yes, I totally agree. So even when I'm talking to my juniors, I make sure that my words don't hurt somebody because
Yes.
words are very powerful, right?
Yeah.
So it's very important that when you say something, there are ways to put it politely,
Okay.
even if there is a problem, so that the other person doesn't feel insulted. And when these little things pile up, that's when it becomes like a big mountain. And I would like to highlight one thing. So basically, in one of my jobs, I was so scared of my boss or what he would say that once I would see a text notification from him, it would just trigger me, and my stress levels would go from 0 to like 100 in just that very second. I've not even read the message yet, And I decided to read more about it as to how I can control it. So you need to empower yourself with tools when this
Tools
thing
with
happens.
knowledge.
With knowledge. And then I read a very beautiful way to tackle it. And it said that whenever something is causing stress to you, you compartmentalize it, you rate it. It can't be that everything is a threat. So you need to kind of define it into bracket. That okay, this is a threat which doesn't need immediate attention. This is a threat which I don't have to stress myself till that thing. So you kind of
So you learn to compartmentalize it.
Yes,
like
and you address it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to also kind of look at yourself that is this fear real or is this fear unfounded?
Yeah, is there a real fire in the building, or is it something that's just going on in my mind?
Correct.
It's very important to kind of take a stock of that.
Correct. So just one thing. How do you manage to maintain focus on your career goals? Because with so much going on in your personal life, how did you just stay focused on your career goals? That I am not going to let go of my career at whatever may be the cost. I'm not going to let go of my career. How do you have that fire in you? Because a lot of people, lose that resilience, that spark, to when such a thing happens, they just don't want to do anything else either. So how did you manage to stay true to your career path?
So I come from a humble Maharashtrian family of 4, and nobody in my family was a working woman. I could see my mom working day in and day out, and I was like, this is not the life that I want. While there were perks to it, like today also whenever I go home, my mom is what I need the most. But I wanted to be that and much more. Okay.
Yeah.
So whenever I see Monday mornings, I'm really excited to dress up just to show at work. And it's true, people are like, how are you crazy? Like, how can you be so happy? But when I had started working, I had no direction, right? Because there was nobody to guide me at that family level or whatever. But my parents were in full support. That whatever I wanted to do or pursue, I had their own full support, right? So in my head, I was like, if they're giving me the resources, to kind of learn, to study, to be something, I should not put them down. I should make the most of that opportunity, because a lot of people don't even get that opportunity to choose a career of their own choice, to live a life that they want to live. But I had that complete freedom. So, and I knew that whatever activities that I like in my life, it will come as a byproduct of me working as well. So it was very clear that things can keep changing, but my love for work, the independency that my work offers me is not gonna change. When I work, I have a different confidence. It provides for my lifestyle now, and so that was not the difficult part. I always look up to work because it makes me help bring my creative side to the front. It helps me be happy. So that has never been a challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that with you having achieved so much in your career, what is your take on love?
Self-love or just love in general?
Just love.
Okay, so after the first setback, I decided I'm never gonna get into it. But time heals everything, and I've always been a hopeless romantic at heart. So now, after focusing on self-healing, self-love, I feel I'm in a space where I'm ready to explore, when I'm ready to put myself out there again. But yeah, the dating scenes have changed quite a bit since I was last in the game. But yeah. If it's in the destiny, it will happen.
I'm sure.
As much as I want it to happen, I think I'll be okay if it doesn't happen as well. Because I'm in a space where I'm very happy. I'm looking at the bigger picture.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the bigger picture of my life. My journey has been exciting. There were a lot of ups and downs, but I'm alive and kicking asses. So I think I'm in a good space right now.
So cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
So, balancing between mental health and work, can you share some practical tips for our audience as to what helped you and kept you steered on your journey?
So it's a constant process, like how you recharge your phone, you have to constantly fuel your soul as well. So it's very important to take care of everything, your mind, your body, your thoughts. And last year I decided I'm not gonna write down any New Year resolution. I'm just gonna act on whatever I truly want to do. So last year finally I decided that I want to learn how to drive, and I did it. I bought my first car.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much. And then I decided to learn a new skill. So I started taking Kathak classes.
Wow.
And when I took the first class, I was like, with my difficult, office thing, I may not be able to find time for it. but work-life balance was on my mind, and I decided that if I can't dedicate 1 hour to myself twice a week, then what am I really doing?
Yeah.
So I decided to take the Kathak classes, and you won't believe, I just gave my first year exam in December, and now when I look at it, I've got a different community in itself. When I'm with that community, a different side of me comes out, the creative side, the skillful side. When you're dancing, you can just totally express yourself. So I think it really helped me to kind of whatever struggles that I've had in daily life, and you have it every day.
Correct.
When you express yourself, you're channelizing that energy, in a good direction. So I think that really helped. But I think you don't have to do something really big. You can, literally take a 10-minute walk. You can listen to your favorite song, eat something that you really like.
Well, what about binge watching? You can do that too.
You can do that too. There are times when I'm really low, and I allow myself to. If I want to cry, I let myself be.
Yeah.
But
without feeling feeling guilty about it.
Without feeling guilty about it, but I'm also cognizant of the fact that I can't dwell in it. 2 days in a row, I can't, let myself feel that way. I have to do something that's going to uplift my spirit.
Yes.
And I think, as everybody says, that you need to have some purpose in life. I still haven't found mine. But I think that's another purpose, to find your purpose in life. So you kind of just keep on going.
That's so
trying to be a
well
better version of yourself every day.
said. Yes.
And what really helps is to have a close circle of your friends with whom you feel safe. You can discuss anything with them. They are progressive kind of people, because your circle and your environment also affects how you feel a lot. If you are in company of people who constantly want to upgrade themselves, who constantly want to try new things, who are looking after their finances, who are looking after how they look and they feel, that's the crowd you want to be in. Because
Okay.
those are the kind of people who are motivating you,
Okay.
even without saying something. So that is something that I totally recommend, and I follow that as well.
So thank you so much. This has been really insightful, and all I can summarize is that one needs to just learn to put one foot in front of the other, and slowly and gradually you shall reach your destination.
Yes.
So, Yashshri, can you tell me what is the role of self-care, and what are the mental health practices that you follow in your daily routine?
So this is something which has not come to me easily, but I have learned how to prioritize myself. The longest relationship that one has is the relationship that you share with yourself. Because since the time you're born till the time you leave this earth, you're with yourself.
Correct.
So it was
Just
not
learn to
it was not easy for me, but I have realized that I need to say no to other people. I need to choose myself, and it's not being selfish. If I am not happy, I will not be able to share that happiness with anybody else. It'll only make people miserable. So that is one thing which I've learned the hard way, that you need to choose yourself and you need to put yourself first
Every single time.
every single time,
Yes.
without feeling guilty.
Without feeling guilty. Yes. So I think that as they say that if you want in the family or anybody, the foundation of that is a woman,
Yeah.
and as long as if women put their mental health first, then a happy wife or a happy mother means a happy family, right? So on that note, women don't tend to put their mental health as a priority.
Yeah.
What is the message that you would like to share to them?
So I think from childhood, we women are being taught that the way you need to dress up, so that people decide for you, right? What you
Yeah.
wear, how you speak, what you say, how you sit, and everything, right?
Yeah.
So somehow they rely on other people, maybe your father, your husband, your kids at certain times, for guidance, for
Correct.
this thing, you rely on other people, right?
Correct.
So that has to
You're
stop.
looking for validation. From
You're looking for
other people.
validation. That's the word that I was searching for. So that has to stop first of all. Like for women,
Yeah.
and other women needs to stop judging women, because that's the most this thing.
Yes.
People are not scared about what the other world is saying, but they are concerned that what their friends think about them, their girlfriends especially. To deal with it. So I think that needs to stop. One needs to understand that we are also human. We are gonna feel.
And that there are different situations that they are in, and we just need to learn to be kind and compassionate.
Compassionate. Yeah.
I think compassion and kindness needs to
It
make a
goes a long
comeback.
way. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think we need to compliment each other a lot. May it be a woman or may it be your colleague. But unfortunately, in today's time, if you're saying some nice things about somebody, people think you're buttering that person, which is not necessarily the case.
Yeah.
I have instances when I have genuinely complimented friends, my girlfriends, and they have said, "Are you just mocking me?" And I was like, "No, I'm not doing that." You know,
Yeah.
you like when I see you as a third person, I realize your strength. I can see how
Yeah,
talented you
we
are.
women need to probably be each other's biggest cheerleaders.
Yes.
Right?
We need to be that, and when you compliment somebody, you also feel good because you made somebody's day, and that person also kind of takes a pause, thinks that, oh, okay, I have done this thing, and people are taking notice of that fact. So I think as women, we need to have that, towards each other as well.
So, thank you so much, Yashshri. This has been a very insightful journey, and I can't thank you enough for taking time and coming to our show and sharing it with everyone. I'm sure we are all the richer for it. On the last note, what kind of advice would you give to anybody who is going through or has been through a similar life challenge as you have been?
Well, to begin with, I would like to tell them that you're not alone. There are a lot of people out there who are going through the same thing. What you see on social media is not necessarily the truth. So you have to be cognizant of that fact that, it's all right to be down, you need to ask for help, maybe from your family, from a therapist, from your friends, from anybody that you can confide in. You need to really, really ask for that help, because until you ask, nobody is gonna serve it to you on a platter. So
And-
ask for,
And maybe stop fighting your own battles.
stop fighting your own battles. We can't do it all alone. We have to rely on people in our day-to-day life. So that is something that you should, really take a note of. Secondly, love yourself. Even if you're sitting at home, get dressed. Do things that make you happy. Don't have to be like a solo trip to Italy like I took. I love that though. But do what you love. You just get this one life, and all the time that you're wasted
Yeah.
in self-pity or in not acknowledging your problem is just delaying you from that journey. Like after all these years, I feel really happy when I have accepted myself,
True.
and I think you will too. So just enjoy this journey, enjoy
This journey called life.
life. Yeah, and
Yes.
love yourself.
Thank you so much, Yashshri.
When you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.